I'm Mandy K, and this is 30 Second Chew. This week, I want to talk about that little voice in our heads telling us we're always hungry. It's called, perhaps a little too on the nose, head hunger. Head hunger is not actually related to physical hunger. It has nothing to do with our body's need to refuel itself. It's generally an emotional response. It's born of habit and tells us to eat to feel better, to have the instant gratification of a yummy taste, or to simply eat because we're bored. And having weight loss surgery doesn't magically make head hunger go away. I thought it would. I had read so many stories of people who just forgot to eat after they had surgery because they simply weren't hungry anymore. I was so excited for that to happen to me. But guess what? It didn't. During my first 2 weeks after surgery, I watched a lot of the Food Network. And you all think I'm a masochist now, don't you? But during that time, when my stomach was still inflamed and healing, the thought of real food turned me off. Even when I got so hungry that I had hunger pangs, and yes, I do still get hunger pangs after surgery, I never wanted actual food. I thought I was home free. This was going to be amazing, and the pounds were just going to fall off of me. Wrong. Having surgery doesn't magically change our brains. It physically changes our stomachs, but that's only a small piece of the puzzle. Most programs require you to have a psych eval prior to being cleared for surgery. The psych eval is supposed to ensure that you can handle the surgery mentally, that you're not looking at it as a quick fix, that you know you're going to have to work for it, and that you don't have any behaviors like binge eating disorder that may work against you. But I wish this eval were a bit more comprehensive. Before I considered surgery, I went to my doctor and asked for a phentermine prescription. She gave it to me, but with the condition that I see a therapist about my issues with food and body image. And that was, hands down, one of the best things I ever did. If I hadn't had those sessions the year before surgery, I don't know that surgery would have been a good option for me. I learned why food is an issue for me, what some of my triggers are, and how to cope when I was feeling a need for food that I didn't really need. Having that knowledge in my arsenal after surgery has helped me so much. Because like I said, my brain wasn't magically changed when most of my stomach was removed. I still have deep issues with food. I still overeat. I still eat for the sake of eating or for the instant gratification of tasting something amazing. The difference? The difference is that I've learned how to cope. I take it one day at a time. Heck, I take it one meal at a time. When I first started eating solid food again, my head hunger came back in full force. Suddenly, I was allowed to eat, so I wanted to eat everything and all of the time. Even when I wasn't actually hungry, it was like my body was taunting me. You can't have this cheeseburger, so I'm going to make you want it. It was stressful, it was miserable, and it did lead me to making some not so great decisions at times. When it's that bad, the best thing you can do is plan your meals in advance. Do it the night before so you don't even have to think about it when you get up in the morning. Everything is pre-portioned, packaged, and ready to go. If that's still not quite working, set an alarm to tell you when to eat. Give yourself rigid structure to retrain yourself. Also, remember where you want to be. Surgery is a big deal, you guys. You've put yourself through some physical trauma in order to meet your goals. Is the temporary gratification of succumbing to head hunger worth what you put your body through? Will you be satisfied having gone through this and not meeting your goal? When you put your goals in perspective, it can really help you shift your mental state and help you overcome your head hunger. Lastly, I want you to know that it's okay to fail sometimes. No one is perfect. And you are going to overeat at times. You're going to grab a cookie or a candy bar because you had a bad day. The important thing is that you don't beat yourself up over it. If you do, you'll only feel worse, and that's going to perpetuate the cycle. Own your issues. Acknowledge that you ate something that you probably shouldn't have, and then move forward. It doesn't do you any good to judge yourself or to start severely restricting yourself because you made a poor food choice in the moment. I also think it's important to acknowledge that foods alone are not good or bad. During the healing stage, there are certainly foods that should be avoided to ensure you're getting all of the nutrients you need, but that doesn't make those foods inherently bad. One day, you're going to be far enough out from surgery that you can eat virtually anything, unless you're one of those few who ended up with adverse reactions to fat or sugar. When you get to that point, remember the strategies I shared above for dealing with head hunger. But also, stop labeling food as bad. If you continue to label cake as bad, then you're going to feel like a failure if you eat cake. In reality, it's fine to eat a little bit of cake, so long as you don't eat cake every day or eat the whole cake. If you can learn to retrain your brain so that food is simply food, it will go a long way towards helping you overcome that head hunger. If you have any topics or questions you'd like me to talk about, you can find me on Twitter at MandyK, or you can submit a question through our website, www.eloquentgushing.com. And here's my protein tip of the week. Deli meat and cheese roll-ups are the perfect size snack for our new stomachs. Just make sure you weigh your portion so you know exactly how much protein you're getting. "30-Second Chew" is a production of Eloquent Gushing. You can find out more about Eloquent Gushing, including additional podcasts, on eloquentgushing.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at Eloquent Gushing. Any opinions expressed during 30-Second Chew are solely those of Mandy K. Ottaway and should not replace advice from a medical doctor. If you have questions or concerns about a medical condition, please ask your doctor or other medical provider.